Hi everyone, this is Vera Nazarian, and I'm going to be talking today about the terms that are in the Atlanteo or Atlantean language in the novella Aeson Blue. This is it, and this is the hardcover edition, and we also have a paperback edition. And we have, of course, the ebooks, and good news is that we're going to have audiobooks coming out, so that's something for you to stay tuned. But just before I go on, I'm going to mention that this video is a presentation that's a part of the new convention that we're having this year, the 2021 Tag Con, and the title of Tag Con this year is Quantum Blue. And I hope you're enjoying the convention, because these are all little, videos and things and events and presentations and panels that are going to be shown all throughout. And I have no idea when this little recording is going to pop up for you. So here it is. And what I will do now is explain the different words that are all in Atlantean in just this novella. Now, many of these terms you have encountered before in all the other series of the Atlantis Grail. And you have qualify, compete, win, and survive. These are the four main novels of the main story arc. And there will be more, and there will be a prequel series, as you know. But before I say anything about that again, I want to just get right into the words, because a lot of you want to know how to pronounce these terms. And I've already had two different pronunciation videos on the language, but this is just the first time that I'm actually including the terms inside the books. And on the very end of the book, you're going to see glossary. And this is starting on page 133. So this is going to be a kind of a pronunciation and maybe an explanation thing. So to make things easier for you, because even with the descriptions of the terms, some of them may be a little bit unclear, and I'm hoping that you've read the other books, because this is just the novella is an early childhood of Aeson, a prequel to the whole series. So you have to kind of know what's going on. But I'm going to read the different words and the terms in the book, and just kind of get into it. So we're going to have the following terms in alphabetical order. And the first one is very important to me because Aeogir means tea, and it's a type of Atlantean tea, because obviously they don't have the same tea leaf plants there. I haven't mentioned whether or not they brought this from Earth in the ancient days when they fled Earth, but we can assume that the plant they're using now for tea is a little bit different, whatever it is. So Aeogir is how you pronounce the word tea, and that's the same drink, beverage that Aeson's mother gave during the special meeting with Gwen in Survive, when they were drinking together. This was what she was. Oh, and I have my cat Stevie's having fun on the floor here. I think he found something. He found a pen. So as I do this, I need to stop this for a second and remove the pen, because otherwise the little dummy will be jumping all over me, because he's right here. He's my assistant in every way. So let's go ahead and continue. So Aeogir means tea. And there's going to be a surprise for you related to tea. And that's coming, and it's going to be revealed during the convention. So next word is Ardukat. Ardukat is a type of military vessel. It's a two-crew fighter vessel with 4 guns, fine focus bursts and wide scatter bursts weapons capability, pilot and co-pilot flight pair. So it's a 2-person ship, and it's the most common small combat ship in the fleet. Now, you have experienced Ardukat in the main series, so you have read about it, you know about it. But just to know that to pronounce it is Ardukat. Ardukat. Next, we have the word that you are all very familiar with. It's called Astradaimon. And you know that it's basically an informal brotherhood and sisterhood of the best pilots in the Star Pilot Corps. You cannot join, you may only be chosen. And all our favorite Atlantean people are Astradaimon. And The word itself is derived from a combination of Latin, but of course it's going back to Greek and the word star, astra, and the word daimon, which is demon in Greek. So it's an idea of star demon, but they're not demonic. They're just the same sense that a demon is like a very kind of a elevated, high level person, or anything that's a demonic. Usually it's intense. So that's the sense we're using here. So astra daimon. Astroctadra is the next word. Astroctadra. Now that's the famous 4-point star shape in both 2 and 3 dimensions. And you know how important the term is for the plot of the Atlantis Grail itself, because this is the alignment. The 4-point window, it's a 4-point star like this. And that alignment is what determined how the ghost moon was put into a different dimension in the books. So there's going to be a whole lot about that in the prequel series. So, but for now, Astroctadra. The word is a combination of several different things. The way I did it is astro, obviously again star. Octo is 8, is an octal. Astroctadra. So it's basically, it's an 8-sided but 6-point object. And there is also a molecule that it fits. But the idea is that it's a 3-dimensional point. It's not just 4 points. So it's in 2 dimensions and 3. So you have coming out in this way. So it's 6 points really. Although it's a 4-point in a 2-dimensional flat space. It's 4 points in the 3D space. So Astroctadra. Now the next word is Atlantida. Of course, you all know what that is. It's the actual planet itself, and it's the word for Atlantis. And Atlantida is something that I borrowed from a lot of other languages. In Russian, Atlantis is Atlantida, so I just took it because I love that word. I believe in some Latin American countries, they also refer to the hidden ancient Atlantis myth as Atlantida. Next, we have the word Bakris. Bakris. Now, Bakris is carrion. And what we did, the first time we saw kind of this was used in, I believe, Wynn during the games of the Atlantis Grail. Just when Gwen was marching, she was in that parade of all the different contenders in the very beginning. And the crowd saw her and they started to shout, carrion, Bakris, Bakris. So that's the word that was used the first time there. But we're also, I guess, one of our young school kids uses that term. So Bakris is used in this book. Then we have Bashtu. Bashtu. That's a very common expletive and an insult. But you can, it's basically, it's not the super hardcore cuss word, but it's more like the S word. And it's just basically, you would say it a lot if you were a kid or if you were in the fleet. So Bashtu is a great way to kind of express your emotional state. Then what we have is a term which is used a lot in this novella. It's chazuf. And it means you're a jerk, an a-hole, a generic crude term for a guy. It could be a woman, whoever. But usually it's a male term. Can be an insult or it can be affectionate. And you notice that in the book, a lot of people, and even Aeson himself gets called chazuf. Chazuf, like, hey, guy, hey, dude, chazuf. But it could be that jerk, that asshole. So you go, chazuf, chazuf. And that's the term. Now, the next day is the word dea. Dea means day. And it's in the same sense as good day. So you would say something like nefero dea, which is good afternoon or good day. But dea is like the daytime period. Eos. Eos means morning. And eos is used a lot of times to also mean things like eos bread, which is the morning bread, or the term for breakfast that the Atlanteans use. But eos is is like a very it's a simple Greek word that I took straight out of the language, and it means morning. So Eos bread is breakfast. Eos pie is the kind of hand pie, and it's usually fruit filled. And you would recall that Aeson, he does like to eat that a lot, and it's been mentioned originally in Survive. So you will run into the Eos pie or Eos pie, however you want to pronounce it, because Eos would be the correct Greek pronunciation, but because that word has been used in the English language also, so a lot of people are used to saying Eos, so that's okay, but it's Eos pie. So Eos. Next we have Garui. Garui means stupid, and I'm not going to say who is the little dummy that Stevie is being a little Garui right now. He's trying to, my cat Stevie is trying to open the door from the wrong end. He's trying to go through the hinge, and he's making little meowing noises because he's complaining. Why is the door not open? Yes, Stevie, you are Garui. You are a little dummy. So Garui means stupid. And I would say it kind of fits this guy a little bit, but just in case somebody hasn't seen my little guy here. Come here, Stevie. You guys have seen this guy. This is Stevie. He's a little Garui. He's a very adorable little Garui. See, there you go. Oh, yes. Yes, we're going to have to continue because people want to know the rest of the words, right, Stevie, right? Yes, they do. Okay, let's put you down and you can be a little Garui somewhere else. Go on, baby. So we have, after Garui, or dummy or stupid, we have the word herme. Herme is singular for hermetar, which is plural. It's an Atlantean measure of length. And I mean, it's something like, it's the equivalent to about 1 meter or 3 feet. But again, it's not exactly 1 meter. It's not 3 feet. It's its own measure. So hermetar is plural and herme is singular. And this was used by when Aeson was on a hoverboard in the novella here, and he almost fell off. So, and I think Kerovat was the one who told him, "Hey, watch out! You almost fell 3 feet," or the equivalent, which is herme or hermita. So the next word is hetep nete. Hetep nete means goodbye, or bye, or farewell. But it's a more of a kind of a it's a formal word, so it's more of a goodbye than like later. So hetep nete. And one of the things that happens in this novella is Aeson does not have a chance to say hetep nete to his grandfather, and that's something that's kind of meaningful. All right. The next word is huchbak. Huchbak means idiot or fool. So when a thing or a person gets called huchbak, means like, what is this crap? What is this idiocy? So huchbak. The next word is imseki. Imseki. And that's a very sad word. It means self-murder, suicide, an act of great dishonor. And this is something that's touched upon in this book when it happens to a certain character, his father. And it's a tragedy. So this is never taken lightly in Atlantis, and it's considered a crime. So usually if somebody is involved in this act, they're considered to have committed a crime. The next word we have is, it's actually 3 words. We have ka, ba, and ach. It's the soul triumvirate. And I didn't really get too much into various religions of Atlantis, but one of them, which basically Devora Cassiopeian, the Imperatrice, she is a great adherent of this belief. So the soul triumvirate is a religious and spiritual term for the 3 parts of the soul. And this is based a lot on ancient Egyptian, the actual philosophy, where they have the soul has many layers. And there are kind of levels of fineness or ethereal layer. So there's the ka, the ba, and the ach. And I renamed the ach. It's spelled a little bit differently in the original Egyptian, but that's my term. Okay, so the next word is Cassiopeian. And Cassiopeian is the actual temple of the Cassiopeian cult of divinity. And you guys have ran into this term during the wedding in Survive, which is held in the actual temple, in the Cassiopeian. So that's the word for that temple. The next term, it's a brand new to this term to this book. It's Kefarai. Kefarai is a freshman, and it's plural, singular, collective, masculine, feminine. So it's just everybody. There is no distinction of gender or plurality. It's Kefarai, and it means it's a slang for a first-year student, such as the fleet cadet. So a lot of the times you will hear every first year as a freshman is called Kefarai. Kefarai. And usually they're slightly put down. They're kind of looked down and not really humiliated, but just not considered, anything. They're like the lowest thing on the totem pole. So kefarai. Next we have kipt. Kipt has been mentioned before. I believe is as early as in qualify, or either qualify or compete. It's the drink stirring stick. It's a type of eating implement. It's basically like a thin little stick with a little thing on the bottom. I haven't really drawn it yet, so I plan to do a visual representation of it, but it's almost like a straw stirrer, but with a little bit of an end, so you kind of can pick or stab things with it when you pick up your food or your drink. So that's the kipt. The next term is kopurai. Kopurai is a variety of wood, and that's something that only this is the first time it was mentioned in this book, so that's a new term. Then we have kuri. That's also a new term. It's a plant harvested for fabrics and textiles, kuri. Then we have lawu. Lawu is a deep brown ale, and somebody referred to a person's hair. It's a brown, kind of a brownish, rich ale shade. So lawu is a deep brown ale. Next, we have a term, and everybody has encountered this before. It's the famous lvikao. It's Lvikao. Lvikao. And a lot of times you don't want to pronounce too many consonants together, but languages like Russian are really good at that. We do this all the time. So sorry about that, folks, but it's one of those times I'm making you say three consonants together. Lvikao. So it's two consonants. So lvikao is the name for an Atlantean caffeinated hot drink, and it's similar to both coffee and cocoa, and it has complex spices and the aroma of a pastry shop. So it's a yummy, yummy drink. Just insert your favorite type of flavored coffee / cocoa / hot chocolate and mix it up and take it to the next level. And that's lvikao. So it's your dream coffee house drink. And there you go. Then we have magheitar. Magheitar is a measure of distance similar to 10 kilometers. And it's, again, when I say it's similar, it doesn't mean it's based on kilometers. It's not based on miles. It's its own measure, but its closest approximation would be like a 10-kilometer length. So magheitar. And that was mentioned the first time, I believe, in Survive. And we were talking about the distance of the ghost moon from the distance from the surface of Atlantis to that anomaly in the sky. At that point, they didn't know what it was. They didn't know about the ghost moon yet. So there was just a weird thing that they thought it was a flock of Pegasi, and that was the distance they were assuming it was. Magheitar. The next term is mamai. Mamai is the term for mother. It's sort of like mama, but it's been mentioned before. We had it in Survive. We may have had it even earlier, but I think in when we may have had it. I think Kokai mentioned it actually. So mamai, and you remember Kokai's own mother was Mamai Jeet, as everybody called her, like Mother Jeet. Jeet was his last name, so it's Mamai Jeet. And then we have the new term, which has not been mentioned until this book, this novella, and it is Mei Mamai, which means grandmother. Mei Mamai, it's a new term, Mei Mamai, grandmother. And also a similarly based word, we have Mei Papai, grandfather, Mei Papai. Now, the next thing is Nefero Eos, which means good morning, and everybody knows that. That's one of your favorite words in Atlantean. So Nefero Eos, or lovely or beautiful morning, Eos. And Nefero is lovely or beautiful. And that's straight from Egyptian plus straight from Greek. Then we have Neferoniktos, means good night. Niktos is night. Neferoniktos. Then we have, and you can also say good evening. So it's Neferoniktos is both good evening and good night. Then we have the word Palatean. Palatean is a kind of stone, and it's been quarried, and it's mentioned, I believe, first time it's mentioned is in this novella. So Palatean. Then we have Pegasi. Pegasi is it's basically a term for, it's a plural term, and singular would be Pegasus, but Pegasi is it's a race of quantum transdimensional aliens, and they were introduced in the main series, and you all know about them. So Pegasi. Then you have a word which has not been seen before. It's Puzuk. Puzuk is like, it's a new word. It's a sort of a slightly derogatory. It's not really an insult, but it means your butt or your behind. So somebody, I believe it was Kerouac, who said, like, move your behind. Puzuk. Puzuk. Then we have Rawabashtu. Rawabashtu is something you say when you're really angry and you just want to spout it out. And it's like saying Bashtu, but like take times 10. Really, really intensely so. So Rawabashtu, Rawabashtu, Rawabashtu. And it's an amplified version. Okay. Then we have the Rereksut. Rereksut. That's an imaginary insect that is attracted to the sound of human snoring, also called the snorad bug in the main series. And you remember that whole anecdote with the same anecdote that actually was described in this book. That whole incident in the dorms where the kids got to, throw bugs in people's mouths who were snoring in the middle of the night. So the bug that was made up, this fake non-existent bug, but they called it Rereksut. Then we have Ruiv. It's a black veined stone, and I do not think it's been mentioned before, but it's in any case, it's been mentioned here for the first time, I think. Ruiv. Then we have a word, Skolariat. Skolariat, which means class, and it also means like course. So it's both the class as in physically and the class as in the course of study. And Skolariat was mentioned before in Compete by one of the instructors, and she called attention to the class. So she said something like, attention Skolariat. So as in pay attention class, hello class, Skolariat. Then we have Sebasaret. Sebasaret, that's a large mid-range military transport space vessel. And we have seen this before in Starting and Survive. That's the same ship that was used for the commanding officers during the Rim mission. So the Imperator got to ride on the ship. That was his like a command ship to the mission. And it's a mid-range ship, so it's not even close to the size of any of the big warships. The what do you call it, battle barges, like War I, War II, and so on, up to War 10. So this ship is mid-range, but it's sizable. So it's not tiny. It's smaller than an ARC ship, obviously, like the ARC ships that were sent on the fleet's Earth rescue mission. Those are huge. So those are kind of they're not as big as the war vessel, as the battle barges, but they're pretty big. They're up there. I think, if I recall, I believe I decided to have them. The battle barges were 4 times as large as an ARC ship, but yeah, they're huge. So, but they're still both really much in a bigger, they're a different class than the Sebasaret. Sebasaret is kind of like a I don't know, maybe an airplane or like a two normal Earth airplane size. So it's a big ship, but it's not huge. Then we have Sesamet. Sesamet is an Atlantean horse, and they were, you can use that as an insult a little bit, and I think Aeson says something about people, the girls being a herd of horses, says a herd of Sesamet. So that's what he said. And this was originally brought up in Win, I believe. Yeah, I think Bree and somebody else was talking about different animals, and maybe Zop was talking to Bree about the animal handler Zop. So he was discussing his animal preserve, and he mentioned horses. So that's what that is, Sesemet. Then we have Sha. Also, it's a generic term for an animal that is a predator. And in Atlantean, you have the predator and prey differentiation. So you would often call some animal just by its type of animal, Sha. And you have the ocean Sha would be the sharks, the actual what we call sharks on Earth, but it's not the same term. The word shark has nothing to do with the word Sha, which in reality, Sha was an Egyptian term. It's almost like a demonic creature. So if you look that up, Sha is a real ancient Egyptian term. Then we have Shartahak, and it means a buffoon, a fool, a stupid, an idiot. Another sort of, it's not really it is an expletive. You can call somebody that, or you can call a thing, and this has been used before in the series. So Shartahak means a fool, stupid, idiot, buffoon. Then we have Shebet. Shebet. It's crap, a piece of crap, Shebet, junk. So when you call something a Shebet with an E, then there's another variation. It's very similar, and it's Shebet. And that's a person made of crap or son of crap. So Shebet is an object. Shebet is a person. And it's a close. I decided to have that kind of. It's very much this. It sounds almost the same, but it's two different words. Then you have a new term. Okay, and the next word, and the one that is brand new to this book, and it's something that is important, and it's a very strong expletive, and the word is varkud. Varkud, and it's basically very, very much like the English F word, but it's an Atlantean word. It's slightly different, but it is a hard expletive. So varkud. Finally, we have one more term in this collection, and that's not a collection, but it's just the novella series. The term is wedjat. It's the Cassiopeian eye. It's the generic term of that Egyptian shape of the eye of Horus that you've seen, and it's an eye with a dark fine outline around the eyelids, and it's a kind of natural eyeliner that's inherent in the Cassiopeian genetics. So Wedjat was mentioned before in Win, and you have heard this, you're familiar with it. This is what all the Cassiopeian have, the genetic Cassiopeian with the expressed genes that have undergone the ritual to express all their full genetic potential. They have that kind of eyeliner. And that's something that Aeson has, his father, his sister, and it's Wedjat. Now, before I conclude, I just want to mention that this is the paperback edition. You can see what it looks like, and we have a hardcover edition, and as I mentioned before, and I really like this one. And this new edition has a laminated internal cover, which I really like. So it's a nice looking hardcover, and it has a dust jacket, and it has on the back the famous charm that we actually have, and I've been giving them out as prizes, and I believe we're going to be giving out quite a few of these to different winners of the tag trivia games of the Atlantis Grail during the convention. So stay tuned for that. You do not want to miss the games of the Atlantis Grail trivia edition, and we're having those again. We're going to have four stages, just like in the real games, and then we have the finals. So that's the little thing. So this is the logo, and this new series of the novellas is going to be the first of many novellas. Then we have, I believe, next in line is Aeson Black or Zelio Red. So I'm not quite sure which one will take precedence. But next up, in terms of what's coming, is going to be the first book of the prequel series, which is Eos, or Morning, or Dawn. And that's why it's called Dawn of the Atlantis Grail. But anyway, so I want you to pick up these books, take a look for yourself, and enjoy the glossary in the end. Not to mention that we have, let me open this one. It's a little easier to find here. Let's see, we are going to show you things like exciting new things. Like there's a chart of different ages. You can see it there. What are the equivalent of an Atlantean age and an Earth age? And you can look it up like a quick reference. So we have that on here for you. There you go. And that has been a little bit of a presentation as part of the TagCon 2021 Quantum Blue, as part of the different fun events that you're having. I hope you're having a great time, and I will see you there. Okay, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, subscribe and click that bell thing, ding-a-ling, whatever that is on YouTube. So just, make sure you do whatever it is that you got to do. I'll see you soon.